Okay, guys, so we will start as usual. We placing the yarn in front of you like that. This is the tail, this is working yarn, and now we will take our working yarn and place it on the top of the tail and make a loop like that. Now we will insert the hand inside, grab working yarn and pull it out. Hold these two together and pull the yarn until you make pretty tight knot. And here is our first stitch. It's ready. Now we can pull working yarn a little bit down or up if you want and make a stitch about 2 inches. Now we will be casting on 14 stitches, guys. Okay, so this is our first stitch. We insert our hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. So now we have 2 stitches over here, and you can see that they're approximately the same size. That's the goal, to have them about the same size. And now we will insert our hand inside, grab working yarn and pull it out. Another way, you can hold the bottom of the stitch with your left hand like that, and then insert your right hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. See, we have 4 stitches, and we will keep casting on this way until we have 14 stitches. Let me move the yarn. Let's count our stitches on this beautiful chain. So to count stitches, count the openings over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 14 stitches, guys. So what we are doing next? Next, we are turning our chain on another side like this. And we are placing working yarn on the back like this. Now we will be pulling out our first row, and we will skip this first stitch. The first stitch will be just sitting here, and well, like that, like this, and we will be using these knots in the middle of the stitch. So stitch consists of top, bottom and the middle part, so we will be using the middle part of the stitch. So we will insert our hand, grab working yarn and pull stitch out. So you can see that now we have 2 stitches. Now we will pull out the next stitch. We will use this knot in the middle. We will lift it. I will use my left hand to lift it. Then right hand goes inside, grab working yarn and pull it out. We have 3 stitches, and we will keep knitting this way or pulling out our first row until we pull out all 14 stitches. Here we are. Knitting with merino wool is very fast because stitches are really big. Every stitch should be about 2.5 3 inches at least. If you want it tighter, you can make it tighter, but make sure not to make it too tight, but otherwise you will use a lot of extra yarn. So now when we pulled out our first row, we will start knitting our pattern. The pattern will be the first stitch will be knitted. We insert our hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. The next 2 stitches we will purl. So working yarn from on the back goes up front. You're taking the stitch with your left hand and you're pushing this yarn that is sitting here up front through this stitch and then pull it out. So here we purled 1 stitch and the working yarn still on the up front. Take a stitch with your left hand and push this yarn through like this. So now we have 2 stitches that we purled. See the difference? This one was knitted, it looks like a chain. These 2 were purled, they look like they have a little bump in front of the stitch. So what we are doing next? Next we are knitting 8 stitches, guys. So simple knitting stitch. Working yarn goes on the back. Insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out, and then keep doing it for 7 more stitches. Insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now we needed 8 stitches. You can see them all here, knitted stitches, and now we will purl these 2 stitches. So working yarn is up front. Take the stitch and push working yarn through. 1, and the same way second one. Now the last stitch we will be always knitting like that, and then we will be skipping it when it becomes the first one. So we knitted this row. Now this stitch is staying here. Starting this row, we are skipping first stitch on both sides. That will give us beautiful chain. It will make it even on the side, and it will look the same as the bottom. See this chain? So now we will be repeating this pattern for 4-5 rows, guys. It's kind of up to you how close you want your cables to be. So we are purling this 2, working yarn up front. Take the stitch with your left hand and push the yarn through, and the same with the next. So we just purled 2 more stitches. This guy is sitting here, it's already a stitch, and now we are knitting our 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I will keep knitting this way for 4 rows. So this is our second row, so I will knit 2 more rows, and then I will come back and I will show you how we will be making those beautiful cables. So make sure to always knit this last stitch. We will be always knitting it, okay? So I'm knitting 2 more rows the same way, skipping first stitch, purling 2, knitting 8, and purling 2, knitting last one, and then I will come back and I will show you how to do the cables. Okay, so we have 4 rows done, guys. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So number 5, we will be starting the same. We're skipping. See, already you can see this beautiful chain on the side. That's why we're skipping, knitting this first stitch, and we're going to do this 2. We're purling them, and now we will be making our cable. So for cable, we are crisscrossing this 4, and this 4 will be another cable. So this cable, this second 2 stitches are going on the top of this first 2. Okay, crisscross, and then we are knitting them. We're knitting this 2 first, like that, and then we're knitting this 2 on the back. 1 and 2. Here we are. We just made the crisscross, see? And now we're making crisscross with this next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only this 2 will go in a different direction. See, these 2 going on the left, so these 2 will need to go on the right. So we will crisscross these 2 on the top, these 2 on the bottom, like that. And then we will knit them. So we'll knitting these 2 first on the back, 1 and 2, and then we're knitting these 2 guys, 1 and 2. So see what we just did? We just made two beautiful cable knits or cables. So what we are doing next, we are simply purling our two purl stitches, and we are knitting our last stitch. Then we're going back, we're skipping, see, we're skipping to create this beautiful chain. And now we're purling again, 1 and 2. And now we will be knitting, simply knitting these 8 stitches the way they are laying here. So just simple knitted stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 4 now. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we will be, again, we will do it for 4 rows, guys, and then we will make another cable in 4 rows, or on row number 5. See how beautiful it looks here? So now it was our first row. Now we will make 3 more rows, and I'll come back and show you how to do the next cable. Okay guys, we are back. We had 4 rows after the cable knitted, and now we will knit exactly the same row with cables as previously. We will skip our first stitch, we will purl these 2. As you realize, we will be purling them all the way through the process of knitting, and the same 2 on the right side. So what we're doing next, we are doing the same cable as we had here on first time. So you can look and make sure that you're going in the same direction. So we will be knitting these 2 stitches first. So they will go on the top like that, and then 2 others on the back. So we're knitting these 2, 1 and 2, and then crisscrossed on the back the other 2 stitches, 1, and hiding here 2. Here we go. So now we will be doing the same with the next 4, and you can see we will be doing the same cable as we did here. So we will be crisscrossing these 2 on the top. These 2 goes on the bottom, because they're on the bottom. We will knit them first, 1, 2, and then there's 2, 3, and 4. And then we will be, here you go, our beautiful cables. Here, if you can see it here. See how beautiful it looks. And now we will be purling our 2, 1, 2, and the last stitch needed. So what we will be doing now, guys, we will be just repeating this pattern all over again until we use all our yarn. And so we are knitting the pattern for 4 rows, and then on the row number 5 we are making cables. So I will keep knitting this way until I'm done with all my yarn. Then I will come back and show you how to cast off. Okay guys, so I am back. We're almost done with all our yarn. I have 2 widths of the yarn left. It's not enough for casting off, so I will need to add a little bit of yarn to finish this blanket 30 by 50, okay, or actually 35 by 50. So what I will do, this is a new yarn. I will fluff out the end like that, and then I will take the yarn that I'm using for making blankets and also fluff out the end like that. Now I will be using this felting mat and felting needle You can buy it at our website BeCozi.net in the accessory section. And then I will place one end on the felting mat, and then another end on the top, like that. And now I will be poking this yarn like this. Keep your hands away because these needles are very, very sharp. So here we are. See, that's how it looks. So now I will take it from the felting mat, turn it on another side, and then poke the yarn on another side. And this way yarn will be attached to each other really nicely. So here we are. So now what I'm doing usually, I'm rolling the yarn like this, and then this opening goes on the top, and then I'm poking this opening to connect the yarn completely. This is very easy and very secure way to connect merino wool. So if you're working with merino wool, you definitely need to invest to buy this very simple tool, felting needle and felting mat. So here we are. I connected the yarn, then I will rub it a little bit to make it smoother, and here we are. You don't really see it on the blanket. And I will make one more row of the same pattern, and then I will show you how to cast off the stitches. So the blanket is almost done. It's a small lap throw. If you want a bigger one, you will need more yarn. So for blanket 30 by 50, you need 4 pounds. For a blanket 35 by 60, you need 6. And for a blanket 40 by 60, it's a medium size, you will need 7 pounds. So here we are. We're done with knitting our blanket, and now I will show you how to cast off. In order to cast off, you need to have 3 widths of the blanket. 1, 2, 3, and that will be then enough for casting off. So to start cast off, we're taking these first stitches together, and then working yarn goes inside and out. So we just made 1 stitch from 2. Then we keep our hand on this inside this stitch, and then you're adding another stitch to the hand, and then you are grabbing working yarn and pulling it through 2. See what we're doing? We are casting off the top of the blanket. So 2 stitches, knit them as make 1 stitch, then add another stitch, and keep knitting 2 stitches at a time until you're done with all the stitches and you have only 1 stitch left. Okay, so we're almost done, guys. We have just a few stitches left. So this is our 2 last stitches. We're knitting them together, and we have 1 stitch left. What we're doing next, we are breaking the wool by pulling it, and then this tail goes inside the last stitch, and then we gently pull it. Here we are. We just finished our blanket, and then this tail goes underneath the chain on the top. See this chain? So it goes underneath, and then we'll go back underneath here, and then you have this little piece. And if you have the felting mat and needle, what we will do, we will felt in this little tail underneath the stitch on the back, like that. See, we hid it, and now we place it on the felting mat with the end on the top, and then we will poke the end inside the stitch, which will secure there. It will not be falling out when you're using the blanket. So here we are, guys. Our beautiful blanket is ready. You can see how beautiful this pattern is. So we will need to weave in the end where we started the blanket over here. So we'll do the same. We'll fluff out the end, and then we'll go underneath this chain, underneath and out, and then we will hide the stitch underneath the hide the tail underneath the stitches on the back, like that, see? And then we again use the felting mat, place this stitch on a felting mat and poke it easily like that to secure the end. Here we are. You do not see where the yarn was connected, and it's a beautiful ending of the blanket. So here we are, super soft, super thick, super beautiful, super warm merino wool in mustard color, beautiful cable knit blanket knitted in this cable pattern that I showed you. You can find 32 colors of merino wool at BeCozi.net, and you definitely need to try to make a blanket with merino wool, because nothing looks as beautiful as merino wool on a blanket. Stay warm and be cozy. Hey guys, Larissa with BeCozi.net is here. I would like to introduce you my second book. The second book, Hand Knitting 102, it was published on November 25, 2025, and it's available to purchase on our website BeCozi.net, BeCozi.com. It's also available on Amazon. It's also available on Amazon as a downloadable version if you want, a Kindle, and if you want the real book, it's available again on our website and on Amazon. In this book, I am showing new patterns and a few old one patterns. It's as usual, it's very detailed, it's very easy to understand what I'm doing. Very unique patterns where you can, those that you cannot find anywhere else. And again, this book is available. Go get it, and this is the best gift for yourself or your loved one.